It is really, really fantastic to be getting these nice harvests. At the bottom of this hay tower, we're growing sweet potatoes, but at the top, we've got some really nice potatoes that have been growing for over 100 days. Guten gardening, everybody. Today, I'm going to be harvesting the tops of these vertical hay gardens. Now, we in the past have called these vertical roost out beds or modified vertical roost out beds. But essentially what we've done is we've taken some of those really high quality tomato cages that people make out of steel, and we've gone ahead and we've added all of our old hay inside. Now, the difference between last year and this year is actually pretty straightforward. One, the hay that's in there, that was already in there, has already had another year to decompose. And two, we've also added some rabbit waste, among other things, and even some scraps that we added at the beginning of last winter to this. So now it's not just hay, it's also some decomposing food, and in a way, it's composting more than just the hay. And here at the top is where we planted some of our purple Magic Molly potatoes, and we're hoping for a nice harvest at the top. Now, if we look down inside here, you can definitely see, and this is true for two of the three anyway. I haven't looked inside the third one, but these are sweet potato leaves that have grown back up through. But beside that, we have these beautiful stems for these potatoes that have been in here for well over 100 days. Now, I actually talked about this a little bit when I harvested last season, that these are about 4 feet tall, and I am 6'2", but reaching down inside here, especially since this is sinking and sinking and sinking as the season goes on, that can be kind of a bear. So if you're going to build something like this, I would maybe suggest you go about 3 feet in height so that it's easier to harvest, unless you're a lot taller than I am. All right, we're gonna get a stepping stool and get down in here to harvest. At the beginning of the season, this was all the way at the top, but you can see how far this has been able to sink over the season. And I think at this point, one of the most important things that I can do is to try my best not to dig too deep as I'm harvesting these potatoes, because I don't want to get down to the layer of sweet potatoes. All right, here's our first one. Now, this is going to be super easy pulling out to harvest these. Take a look at these beauties. One of the things we've seen, and we've already harvested a couple of our Magic Molly potatoes this season, we have seen some really nice size from our Magic Molly potatoes, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. I'm just reaching down in here. Take a look at the size of these. Now, for those of you who have never grown purple potatoes or purple Magic Molly potatoes, one of the benefits of growing purple fruit or purple vegetables, wow, one of the benefits of that is that you get anthocyanins. And you can do some research if you'd like into the benefits of anthocyanins or why people might want anthocyanins as a part of their diet. But in my opinion, it doesn't take a lot of reading to see that there are some pretty clear benefits. I'll put some of that up on the screen right now, but you can do your own research and see what you learn from this. There are so many. Oh my, so many of these. You know what I'm noticing? I'm thinking in the video it might be a little bit difficult to see these purple potatoes because they're so dark. They're almost the color of what they're growing in right now. But I promise you, these plants are loaded down with these purple potatoes. Last season we had some vole damage. They found their way into these beds. What I'm seeing so far is free of voles. We'll see if it stays that way, but that's a really nice start. Look at how many are coming off of this plant. Okay, if this remains the same, what I mean by that is if we see these continual good results from these beds, then what we have speculated, watch this, watch that, what we have speculated looks like it should be coming true, which is that the longer these beds, these hay beds, and now as we're adding compost to them as well, the longer they're in here, the more decomposition and breakdown we get, the better the performance should be. I can promise you that last season's harvest, and it wasn't bad, there you can see all the hay in there, last season's harvest was nowhere near in terms of the size of the potatoes that we have right here. Look at this. These are third generation purple Magic Molly potatoes that I just harvested here from the top of this hay bed. Wow. No damage, just beautiful looking purple potatoes. Let's move on to the second bed. Now, for those of you who might be new to the channel and are wondering why we're bothering with all of this vertical gardening, well, here at Guten Gardening, we don't have a ton of space, and this is just another way where we've experimented in the past with some vertical gardening, our own method here, and we enjoyed it, we liked the success, and we keep going with something that we found to be successful. All right, let's look down into our second tower. Well, the inside of our second bin definitely has sweet potatoes that have grown back up in here from below. Let's go ahead and get a pull on our first potato plant here. I mean, I suspect that we're gonna see similar results. Yeah, some just really nice, oh, that one fell off. Some really nice purple potatoes in here. So what about taste? Is there a massive difference in taste between a purple potato and say a yellow or a red potato? Because we've made some pretty interesting dishes, some purple mashed potatoes, etc., out of these purple potatoes, and I saw some folks kind of turned off by the color. What I'll tell you is the color itself doesn't determine the taste, but rather the fact that these Magic Mollies, for example, are a waxier potato. So if you're looking, if you like waxy tasting or waxy textured potatoes, this might be the way to go. I actually had someone just ask me the other day if I liked trying new or strange foods, and I said, yeah, for the most part, and there isn't much that I won't try. So I'm wondering if you're the same way when it comes to things like vegetables, where you're willing to try new and exciting, or maybe vegetables that look like they might taste a little strange to you. Are you somebody who's willing to do that? Not everybody is, I know. All right, at first glance, it looks like we don't have as many potatoes in here. Oh, well, there we go. All right, we actually have quite a few potatoes over on this side. There we go, 3 more really big potatoes. Let's see what we ended up. Again, and I'm saying this, I'm repeating this, we're growing sweet potatoes underneath. So the top here is a small layer, a singular layer of these potatoes. So really only about 1/4 of what we should expect to harvest from this overall bed. Now, pretty clearly at the end of the season, once I've harvested all the sweet potatoes, and then of course I've got these potatoes out of here, I'm gonna have to fill these vertical towers back up. But the nice thing is I've got some hay growing, some sweet potatoes in it right now, and that stuff's in its second year, the hay is. And so that's part of what we're gonna be able to put in here. And again, any scraps, any of our quail waste actually could go in here, our rabbit waste, so we can fill these back up pretty nicely, and we'll do that before the winter. Now, last season, one of our bins, we had just some burlap around it. We decided not to do that this season and instead wrap them all in the black plastic, because the black plastic seemed to do better in terms of keeping the heat in for our potatoes. And the potatoes and the ones with the black plastic definitely perform better than the one with the burlap. So I think we're seeing that was a good decision as well, with all that we're bringing out of here. More and more of these beautiful, these are excellent sized Magic Mollies. Again, these are a 3rd generation. Last year, we struggled so much with our potato crop. Well, I can just feel what's under the surface right here. We struggled so much with our potatoes last season. And so it is really, really fantastic to be getting these nice harvests. We really didn't do a great job even with our purple Magic Mollies. And that's too bad, because the Magic Mollies for us have been a plant that has done a really nice job in terms of overall production. We typically, the first year we grew the Magic Mollies, we got so many potatoes. Like, the yield was crazy, something like 8-to-1 from what we planted, and we just didn't see it last year really with any of our potatoes. And now I'm coming in here and I'm seeing just potato after potato. So much good eating coming our way. Look at that. Oh, a ladybug. You love to see a ladybug in here. I'm sure it's trying to take care of some aphids for it. We appreciate that very much. We love our ladybugs. There we go. We're coming to the end of this harvest. A fantastic harvest in my opinion. So many potatoes, such great size, proof that this is a way in which we're going to continue to grow potatoes. Oh, take a look at this. This is the potato I noticed in here earlier. Has been in here for quite a while, to the point where this one is starting to sprout again. It's already got some roots on here. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to take it inside and I'm going to let it keep growing. Actually, you know what? I'll plant it and get it started out here in a different container, probably in one of our buckets. And then we'll let that continue to grow. That should produce really nicely for us sometime here in the winter. But I absolutely love the ease of this harvest, besides the fact that I'm on a step stool right now. It's pretty clear to me, you know, just based on what I'm seeing here, that next season, if we keep this up, if we keep adding layer after layer, we could continue to see some great results in these beds. And it'll be interesting to see how well our sweet potatoes did. All right, here is our entire harvest. Remember, the amount of space that this potato growing took up was minimal because it's vertical, because it's the top layer. And if I had to describe my current state of experience in life, I would have to say I'm incredibly grateful. I'm grateful for the size of this. I'm grateful for the food that this means we're going to have this winter. Last season, I mentioned it earlier in the video, I think, but last season we struggled with potatoes, and potatoes are one of our main crops, potatoes and sweet potatoes, and we struggled. And this season I've done 5-6 harvests already, and this is what we're getting. We're getting really nice harvests, nice results. And after a dry, incredibly dry start to this season, most of the season was dry here in Zone 5 Wisconsin, I couldn't be more grateful. And that's a true statement. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Maybe got a little bit of garden inspiration from this, the inspiration to grow potatoes vertically or to try vertical gardening just in general. It has been a wonderful day. If you enjoyed this video today, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.